I'm Vlad. This is 25 frames. 25 photographs you have never seen. With stories that nobody told you. Stay until then. Let's begin.
The Hunter brothers inspect an airplane in the air during a 23-day flight without landing in 1930. During the 23 days, food and fuel were periodically delivered to them by another airplane. The channel every day selects for its subscribers rare historical photos that you will not see anywhere else. No advertising, only interesting historical content. An airship crashes due to a nuclear test in Nevada, 1957. Lyndon B. Johnson shouts to the pilots of a neighboring plane to turn off the engine so John F. Kennedy can speak while Kennedy tries to calm him down. Filmed during the 1960 presidential campaign in Amarillo, Texas. Poon Lim, a Chinese sailor who survived alone on a life raft for 133 days and was rescued in 1943 off the coast of Brazil. A Ku Klux Klan member throws a hangman's noose over his car to deter African Americans from voting in the upcoming municipal primary election, Miami, Florida, May 3, 1939. Portrait of U.S. President Woodrow Wilson of 21,000 soldiers at Camp Sherman, Ohio, 1918. Helen, Native American telephone and switchboard operator working at the Many Glacier Hotel, Babb, Montana, 1925. Las Vegas police confront Mike Tyson after he bit off Holyfield's ear, 1996. A convention of former slaves. From left to right, Annie Parham, 104, Anna Angeles, 105, Elizabeth Berkley, 125, and Sadie Thompson, 110. USA, Washington, D.C., 1916. U.S. Army soldiers talk to a pontifical Swiss Guard soldier from the Vatican after his liberation by Allied forces on June 4, 1944. Rita Hayworth, one of the most popular pinup models among American soldiers and sailors during World War II, 1941. Salvador Dali's painting Face of War, 1940. A Romanian serviceman on New Year's Eve, 1989. A group of U.S. Marine artillerymen display a homemade Black Power flag, Con Thien, South Vietnam, December 1968. Eskimo basket maker, King Island, Alaska, between 1915 and 1925. Jérôme Bonaparte, younger brother of Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte, and the only one of Napoleon's brothers ever to be photographed, 1850. French soldiers in northern Saudi Arabia during the Gulf War, crises, circa October 26, 1990.
Almost there. The last story is coming. Don't stop now.
Inside an airplane in 1930. Closed because of happiness, hooray, a Danish store that closed to commemorate the end of Nazi occupation and the surrender of German troops May 5th, 1945. Siberian Eskimo woman between 1917 and 1927. A Turkish man reads the new Turkish alphabet in front of a bookseller, 1929. Harlem residents greet Gamal Abdel Nasser and Fidel Castro, 1960. Allied crossing of the St. Quentin Canal in 1918. Anti-war protesters from the University of California, Berkeley, July 4, 1969. The headquarters of the Ottoman III Corps in Gallipoli, commanded by Esat Pashi, 1915. Danish model Winnie Holman Kahn, 1975. Viewers watched for the Challenger explode shortly after the space shuttle took off on January 28, 1986. A man searches for a book in the old Cincinnati Library built in 1874 and demolished in 1955. Senator-elect Joe Biden and his wife Neelie cut a cake to celebrate his 30th birthday, November 20, 1972. Photo of Pablo Escobar after his arrest by Cuban police, 1976. Kowloon Fort City was a densely populated, largely ungoverned settlement in Kowloon, Hong Kong. Originally a Chinese military fort, Kowloon became an enclave after the new territories were leased to Britain in 1898. Its population increased dramatically after the Japanese occupation of Hong Kong during the World War II. There were 120,000 inhabitants per square kilometer. It was once thought to be the most densely populated place on Earth, with 50,000 people crammed into just a few blocks. These breathtaking photographs provide a rare glimpse into the lives of those who inhabited Kowloon Wall City. The menorah is a gold 7-armed lampstand, or candlestick for 7 candles, which according to the Bible was in the tent of meeting during the Exodus and then in the temple in Jerusalem until the destruction of the Second Temple. One of the oldest symbols of Judaism and Jewish religious paraphernalia stands on the windowsill of a Jewish house in front of the Nazi Party headquarters in Kiel, Germany, 1932. UPD. Our subscriber Sergey corrected that this is a Hanukkah, a festive lamp for 9 candles. The Hanukkah is very similar to a menorah, only instead of 7 it has 9 horns. While the menorah is intended to be used solely as a mundane accessory and is lit daily, the Hanukkah is a festive Jewish lamp. Unlike the menorah, the Chanukiah is lit strictly during the Jewish holiday of Hanukkah, an 8-day celebration of the miraculous victory of the Maccabees during their revolt against the Greeks. Girls make Molotov cocktails during the Battle of Bogside, Ireland, 1969. Geert Adriaen's Boomguard, 1788-1899, the last of the men who fought on the side of Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte.
Almost there. The last story is coming. Don't stop
From
now.
Life Behind the Wall, Berlin, 1986. Not very common online photos of life next to the Berlin Wall, taken by photographer Patrick Peel in the Kreuzberg neighborhood of Berlin 36. Red Army soldiers in Berlin, May 1945. Serbian soldiers making a snowman. Edirne, First Balkan War, c. 1912 Grommen. Dior models on the streets of Moscow, 1959. People walk in the footsteps of the crackdown on protests in Tiananmen Square, 1989. Earl Spencer, Prince William, Prince Harry, and Prince Charles look at the hearse carrying Princess Diana's coffin, September 6, 1997. Remember Stonewall was a riot? LGBT parade in London, June 1994. The first interracial couple in Mississippi, August 3, 1970. A Jewish woman awaits deportation to Camp Westerbork, Amsterdam, Netherlands, July 1942. Family bicycle, 1939. Dutch soccer goalkeeper Frans de Monk, known as the Black Panther, at the Galgenwaard Stadium in Utrecht, 1956. Japanese-Canadian fishermen who had their boats confiscated before being sent to internment camps in 1942. Even after the war, they were not given back their property, which was sold to Canadians. German officers surrendered to the American Army near Prague, April 1945. Jewish Nazi collaborator Hans van Dyck was tried on charges of high treason. During the war, she lured Jews out of hiding and turned them into the Gestapo. Dyck, who was paid for every Jew she caught, turned in at least 145 people, including her own brother. Amsterdam, 1947. Workers and huge chain links forged for the Titanic's anchor at the Hingley & Sons factory, 1910. A Spanish policeman guards the wreckage after 2 Boeing 747 airliners collided and caught fire, killing 583 people on the runway of Tenerife Los Rodeos Airport in the Canary Islands. Spain, 1977. Some of the 100,000 Chinese laborers who joined the British war effort in Europe during World War I, digging trenches, building docks, laying track, unloading ships, and repairing tanks, 1916.
Almost there. The last story is coming. Don't stop
The
now.
dilapidated West Side Highway in Lower Manhattan, 1973. Later that year, an overloaded dump truck fell through the overpass, leading to its eventual closure. Gurkhas, Sikhs, Rajputs, members of the British Indian Army and recipients of the Victoria Cross in World War II, Buckingham Palace, 1945. An Italian woman curiously examines a Scottish soldier's kilt. Soldiers stand near the Colosseum after the liberation of Rome in 1944. A pyramid of World War I German helmets in New York, USA, 1919. Photograph of an Indian state executioner in spiked armor with sword and shield, India, 1903. Mobsters hide their faces at Al Capone's trial, 1931. Seattle police officers cover their faces with masks during the Spanish flu pandemic 1918. 100,000 Iranian women marched to protest the new hijab law 1979. Miners at the Serra Pelada gold mines in Brazil 1980s. Martin Luther King Jr. removes a burned cross from his yard in 1960. SS leader Heinrich Himmler visits the Dachau concentration camp with his 12-year-old daughter Gudrun, Nazi Germany, 1941. Textilschitze, filmed by Nikolai Matorin, USSR, circa 1960. Joe DiMaggio at Marilyn Monroe's funeral, 1962. A mother kisses her son goodbye before he leaves for volunteer work in Germany, Belgium, 1943. East German border guard Konrad Schumann, who defected to West Berlin in 1961. Kim Il-sung with a calcium deposit on his neck the size of a baseball, 1984. A Palestinian gypsy couple near Jerusalem circa 1910. Tanks on a street in Bucharest, Romania during the Romanian Revolution, 1989.
That is 25. If even one of these stayed with you, subscribe. Next week we open the archives again. Some photographs deserve to be remembered. I'm Vlad, see you in next one.